Going off of what I said last time, I was talking about how my sister had kidney failure and how that affected me back in the day. Again, I had a gym teacher who would yell at me because of the fact that I didn't want to run. I just wanted to sit down and cry. And I would also go out of my way and do something bad just to get the attention of my parents. Which, if your kid and your sister has a fatal illness, don't do that. Don't act like you're suicidal. If you act like you're suicidal, that's just going to worry your parents more. That sort of mindset will eat you up slowly, and it'll go from, oh, I have depression to, you know, oh, I actually have depression now. Don't suffocate yourself due to, you know, lack of attention given as a child. Don't do anything crazy, because it will cause trauma. Don't be like me. I used to run away from school or get aggressive with the staff, so I was put in special ed. I tell you, special ed kinda sucks. But, I was put in special ed because I got aggressive with the teachers. Because, slowly but surely, I was just forced into a mindset of, I don't know how to handle. I don't know how to cope. Didn't know what to do, so I just got aggressive out of the confusion. Don't be like that. Eventually it gave me PTSD of school, believe it or not. Like, I still just stress out about school to this day. In the last school I went to, the special ed school I went to last, it's not good to like think about these things if you have PTSD, but I think it's better to talk about it. But my special ed school thought it was a good idea to bring all these students with different disabilities into one classroom. And things were really screwy there. And their approach to it, in my opinion, is inhumane, at least for the students. Like, we had this point system where, oh, you misbehaved, get a point. Get enough and go to a room full of metal stools and look at a wall. Kinda like detention. Except if you went there too many times, you would stay there for the rest of the day with nothing to do. And at that point I ended up thinking to myself, you know what? I'm being sent there, I may as well just, I may as well just walk myself home. But, that's a very bad strategy for a school full of people with mental illnesses. And because of the bias of some of the teachers there, I won't call them by name, but one of them would abuse that privilege. Even yelled at, I forgot what she had, but apparently she had some sort of disorder, and apparently she could hear ghosts. But she was yelled at by that shitty teacher so many times. Like, she can't help it. She can't help that she has... again, I forgot what she had. Like, she can't help it. And if you talked back to the guy, he would just give you a miss point. And it was just terrible from a moral standpoint, because people have different morals, believe it or not. And if somebody sees something as immoral and they want to stand up for another, that's showing, you know, that they don't agree with what's going on. You know? It's how they learn about their own morals. Their morals. And suffocating it to a point where, oh, you don't agree with what I did? Well, you're going to get punished for it. Is terrible. And having some morals, like, oh yeah, do no harm. Like, if a teacher's ticking you off, and you just be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna sit here in a desk. After 10 minutes, they will, you know, if you get aggressive with them, being like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do the work currently, I'm just too, not good currently. Some of them will call the other teachers, and because it's a sign of defiance, they will throw you into a like the equivalent of a janitor's closet. Like, it is very, you know, suffocating. And I forgot I think it's called like an isolation room. Those things will just isolate a student, and you could do nothing, and you'll be sent there. My own morals, that's just, you know, that's insane. That's not right. Person says they're not going to do work and they just sit there for 10 minutes. You get they, like, you know, if you have a coat on, they'll strip it off of you. If you have shoes, they'll take it off of you. You'll be thrown into a box. It's just like, it's terrible, and it might just be my morals, but like, doing that is worse than just having them sit down. Having that be the punishment is just terrible. If they're doing literally nothing and you're just punishing them for it, that's just it's terrible. And because of the teachers being the ones in power, they of course got to say what we did. And because most parents won't believe what you say if you're in one of those schools. They'll believe the teachers, not you. So, for instance, you slightly push a teacher or something, they'll say you punched him. One of the teachers would abuse their power to the point where if you touched them, like, yeah, you wanted to punch them in their face. And let me tell you, he was a disgusting and despicable person to me. I don't even know how they made it to be a teacher. Because, let me tell you, his classroom honestly should have gotten the school shut down by themselves. He hung up birds, which, yeah, no, it doesn't sound that bad, right? he did it himself. He stuffed him himself. There was a wing on the counter, and you could still see the flesh on the wing. Hygiene? Who gives a crap about hygiene when you can have a freaking animal limb just right there? It just... Nobody had any problem with it, but I didn't. Personally, I was just like, the hell, man. Why do you hang up, like, why did you leave it there? Why? Also, it didn't matter who started, like, you know, if a teacher started to aggravate a student into hitting or getting aggressive towards them, they didn't care. None of them would own up to being the reason why a student got mad. They could be the aggravator, they could be the person who aggravates a student, and no one will care. That they were responsible for making one of their students angry enough to assault them. Personally, I'd rather run than assault somebody, so that's what I did. If I felt like I wanted to punch this teacher, I'd say, screw it! I'm walking home, and that's like 10 miles away. I have walked home 10 miles. It's like 10 miles to walk home before. Ten miles again. Most of the stuff was uphill, barely anything downhill. And all they would do, they just have the police freaking police officer at the school follow you. Never interacting with you, never being like, hey, you have to come back to the school. They just allow you to walk. And allow the freaking police officer to just watch you. I mean, fair enough, but like, why not just call their parents? Why not inform their parents that they've just left school property? The worst part is, like, okay, I'll call home, I'll say, oh yeah, I'm sick. They won't call home. One time, I was like, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to walk home, I feel ill. I go walking, about like 10 minutes in, I fucking faint on the goddamn ground. Just like fainted on the sidewalk. Somebody, some kind soul, like woke me up and was like, "Hey, are you okay?" Like, I could have been kidnapped, but no, the school didn't give two shits, and no, at this point they didn't like send a police officer to like watch me. So I could have easily been kidnapped. That guy was just like, hey, you okay? He woke me up, he got me up. And he was the one that allowed me to call home. Just think about that. Imagine having to experience that upright, just yourself. Because it is terrifying to suddenly feel lightheaded and then just fall down on the ground, wake up to a total random stranger looking down at you, just being like, "You okay?" Like it's terrifying. School didn't give two shits about that incident. Not a single shit was given. Not about my safety, nor about, you know, the obvious. It was terrible. It was terrifying.